Here's Rodders!
Hey legends, welcome back to Here's Rodders Reviews. I'm your host, Rodney Stewart, and if you're looking for something to watch on Netflix and you're interested in something a little bit on the scary side, I would highly recommend NIGHTBOOKS. I checked this out last night. Now, it's not overly scary. It is a children's horror sort of a story, and it is what it is. It's a lot of fun. It stars Winslow Fegley, for once I've pronounced the name properly, Lydia Jewett, and Kristen Ritter as the witch, Jessica Jones herself. This movie is a good time, and I'm not going to destroy the film for you, but if you checked out the trailer and haven't watched the movie yet, probably the one criticism you're going to have on it is Kristen Ritter's witch in the trailer, and you think to yourself, now I thought this to myself at the beginning, she doesn't seem very scary for a witch. Now, that is a justified criticism after seeing the movie. You'll know what I mean once you watch it, but don't let that put you off. It is based upon a children's fairy tale, Hansel and Gretel, and it's a modernised version of that, as in the story Hansel and Gretel. The Hansel and Gretel get captured in this witch's house by being tempted in by the outside of the house is covered in sweets, and the house is basically built on sweets, and the witch uses her magic in that way to trap Hansel and Gretel in the house. And it's a similar sort of deal with NIGHTBOOKS. This kid is he's into horror stories, scary stories, and he writes them for himself and his friends. And at the beginning, his best friend in the world, kind of turns on him to get into the cool gang. And you know, I don't want to be, you act like a dork, you're into these scary stories, and you're not cool like these other kids, sort of a thing. So the kid, all heartbroken at pretty much losing his best friend, decides he's going to go and burn his NIGHTBOOKS, the books he writes his scary stories in. So he gets into the elevator in his apartment block in New York, and he's going to go down to the boiler room to burn these books, but the elevator stops a few floors below, and he comes out of the elevator. It's stopped, it's not going to go any further, and he's walking down the hallway, and there's a door opened into another apartment, and in there he can hear the movie The Lost Boys playing on a TV. And he takes a little look in, and he's going to walk past, but of course he's into his horror stories and horror movies, all that sort of stuff. And Lost Boys, I don't care who you are, you can't pass up a viewing of The Lost Boys. So the kid does indeed walk into the apartment, and there's that little plate sitting beside the TV with a bit of pumpkin pie on it, and he lifts it, and he's watching the movie, and he takes a bite of it, and as he does, the door closes behind him, and then he passes out, and he wakes up and finds that he's trapped in this apartment that he can't get out of. He actually tries to jump out the window onto the fire skip, and when he does go through it, he ends up falling out of the closet back into the bedroom. The house, or the apartment in this movie, is essentially the witch's house from Hansel and Gretel. Now, inside this house, it turns out that this house, whenever it needs a new victim, it can travel to different parts of the world. He meets this young girl, Yasmin, in the apartment, and she's from Washington DC, he's from New York City, and the two of them get trapped in this house by this witch. And the witch tells the kid that she needs a scary story told to her every night, or she's going to kill him. And we start the journey throughout the film with this kid trying to write stories to satisfy this witch, and every once in a while the whole apartment will start to shake, and the witch will be like, tell me these stories now, and it's almost as if her anger is making the apartment shake, and the kid is trying his best. There's a huge library in the apartment. It's almost like a TARDIS, this apartment. It's bigger on the inside than it is on the outside, and he's going through this library, and he's checking out all these old books to get inspiration for writing stories, and he starts to find these little notes left from a girl that was a prisoner before them that he calls Unicorn Girl, and she has apparently, through these little notes that he finds, has found a way of escaping the apartment. So while telling the witch these stories, him and this girl Yasmin are trying to work out a way of getting out, and through these notes they find a sleeping potion that this Unicorn Girl used on the witch to get her to fall asleep so she could escape the apartment. I'm going into a little bit more detail than I really want to in here, but I don't think I've destroyed the movie for you yet. But in the movie, they see what happens to the kids whenever the witch is done with them. She doesn't just kill them, she turns them into these small little statues and puts them onto this shelf somewhere in the apartment. And the kids discover that through the writing of these notes of Unicorn Girl, she had this unicorn necklace. That's where they got the name for her. And they notice on the kids that have been turned into these little statues that there's nobody there wearing a unicorn necklace. All the kids that were changed, you see these different items like earrings and stuff that they had on them are there, but there's no kids with this necklace. So this girl obviously escaped. So off they go to try and make this sleeping potion to put Kristen Ritter to sleep to escape the apartment. Now this, and I wasn't expecting it to happen. Excuse the noise outside the studio. That guy in that tractor still hasn't found third gear. Of course, there's the reference to the Lost Boys at the beginning when the kid gets trapped in the apartment. So whenever him and this other girl decide to go after the witch with a sleeping potion, of course the classic song from the Lost Boys, Cry Little Sister, starts to blast as they're going to do their hero movement, you know, the last fire will rise. It's fantastic, put a dopey big grin on my face. Just as a classic horror fan, and especially the Lost Boys, love that movie. Just that track coming on was just unexpected and very, very welcome. Now it only does a few bars, the song doesn't get as far as the chorus, but tasty all the same. They do eventually go after the witch, and I think they have escaped the apartment at one point, but have they? I'll let you discover that yourself on the viewing of the film. Now it is a good time to be had. I had a lot of good fun with it. Now, as I did say, Kristen Ritter's witch in the trailer, if you have that criticism that she doesn't look scary to be a witch, it is justified. Give the movie a chance, see where it takes you. I don't think you'll be dissatisfied with the result of this movie. It is what it is. It's unapologetic for what it is. It's a better time than I thought I was going to have with it, and one I would highly recommend you checking out. Guys, thank you so much for checking out the video. Please consider subscribing to the channel, and if you do, don't forget to turn on that bell icon to be notified of future uploads. And please check out some of the other videos on this channel while you're here.